Hello guys and welcome. As you can see, we're going through some renovations over here, so sorry about the mess in my background. In today's video, we're gonna talk about the Gaea and the Unreal Engine workflow, where you use the Gaea generated masks like the slope mask, snowfall and so on, together with the landscape layer blend inside of Unreal. For those who doesn't know, it might seem like rocket science, but it's really simple. Gaea is a free software that you can generate landscapes really fast, and the landscape layer blend, it's a really simple node inside of Unreal, and you can generate environments, believable environments really fast using this workflow. Enough of talking guys, so let's go to the videos and let's start creating our landscape in Gaea and then move to Unreal Engine. Let's get started. So guys, I'm here in the landing page of Gaea, and we're gonna create a blank project. We don't need to use any templates from Gaea. However, it's nice if you're a beginner in Gaea, take a look on those different templates. They might be helpful to you to understand better how Gaea works. But let's create this blank project. So here we have our blank project. The interface of Gaea is pretty straightforward in my opinion, because you have the viewport over here, and we're gonna have all the nodes that we can use to create our terrains. We have a bunch of these over here. We're gonna over a few of those in this video, especially the geoprimitives and the primitives probably, and a few other nodes. Here we have our graph. The graph is like our blueprint graph or our material graph inside of Unreal, so it's pretty much the same thing. And here we have a properties bar. That properties will change depending on the node that we are using. And to create a node inside of Gaea, you can right click with your mouse and type the node that we're looking for, or you can search the node that you want in the toolbox and drag and drop. So for instance, I'm going to start with a few geoprimitives, and I believe that I'm going to use a range. Let's see a range over here. So the range is kind of a mountain landscape. It's pretty nice. Maybe a ridge. Let me take a look. A ridge might be nice as well. I think I'm going for a ridge, so instead of the ridge. We can change that afterwards. And see, if I click in the range, you have a few properties of the range, and the same thing with the ridge. However, we have different properties in each of these nodes, and that because the nodes behave differently, so the ridge have different properties. So if I go here, we can change the seed. So the Gaea gonna create a different set of landscape for us, so you can keep going doing that. Also here you can increase the scale or decrease the scale. You can increase or decrease the scale. And that's nice. And here we have the height, the definitions, and so on. And I'm gonna create a more random landscape, and I'm gonna try use a Voronoi. So as you see here, you have the mask. So we're gonna use a Voronoi. For those who are familiar with Photoshop and texture, the Voronoi is a pattern. So you might already see in textures and things like that, they are using to create some randomness in textures and so on. So I'm gonna use this Voronoi. As you can see, you have different properties, so we're gonna maybe increase it like this one. I think it's nice. Maybe some noisy edges. Yeah, and then I'm gonna use as a mask to our ridge. So the using as a mask, you project the Voronoi with our ridge, and then we're gonna have a blend of this pattern, and you have a more random surface, a more random landscape. And that is what I'm going for. Also, besides the ridge, maybe I wanna use some mountains. So the mountains over here. And to combine both of these nodes, there is a node called combine. We're gonna use a lot this node. Go here and then the combine node. As you can see in the node, you have the combine node have different properties, and the most important it's the method, because here you have the blend. So the blend is blending the two and the ridge and the mountain together into the combine, and the ratio is, if I decrease the ratio, I'm gonna have more of the first node, which is the ridge, and if I do the opposite, I'm gonna have more of the second node, which is the mountain. But I don't like this mountain very much. I'm gonna change a little bit, trying to search for another seed. I think this one is good. Also, if you want to change the position of your mountain, you can do that. There is a node called transform. And then I can go here and transform the mountain. So I can go here and change the position. So as you can see, now the mountain's changing. And then I'm gonna go here in the combine and I hit F, so I lock my view in this node, and then I can use the transform node to move on my mountain and see the effect with the ridge together. So I definitely can do that. It's really handy. So I'm gonna go here. Maybe the mountain's more here where you have a more flat surface. And also, instead of the blend method, I can use the max method, because you're gonna have the max of the both of these nodes, and here, as you can see, you have more ridge and also more mountain. I'm gonna increase the ratio a little bit, yeah. And also the mountain, maybe I can scale the mountain a little bit as well to make it more bigger. And yeah, you already have kind of a landscape. And I'm not intending to be too much complex over here. It's more like a crash course about Gaea to understand how Gaea works and also the workflow together with Unreal. But let's keep moving. So we already have a landscape, and one of the nodes that creates more realism to Gaea is the erosion node. So we're gonna use the erosion node all the time. But because the erosion node, it's a quite heavy node, every time that you make some changes, you need to apply the changes. Or you can click in this auto apply over here, and then you're gonna apply. And with the erosion, as you can see, with the erosion, we have a more natural blend between the two nodes, the ridge and the mountain. And you can play with this. So we're gonna make the rocks more soft. I can increase the duration to make the landscape really fall apart. I think it's nice. Increase the dowel cutting, which is the water paths. And then I can play with those textures, and now I can play with those properties. And if you keep playing with those, the erosion gets stronger and stronger, and you have a really nice blend between the two of the nodes that we are using. And with that, guys, we already have a Heightmap to export to Unreal. So we are gonna use this Heightmap over here. So let's go to Unreal to import this Heightmap, and then you're gonna go back to Gaea afterwards to generate some basic masks to use with the landscape layer blend node. So let's go to Unreal Engine. Here we are gonna create a third-person project. I like to do that because we already have some built-in functions and have some models and animations and so on. I'm gonna enable ray tracing, and also gonna use the started content because you never know when you're gonna use some of the features that the started content has. And I'm gonna call this Gaea to Unreal and create our project. I'm using the version 5.4.1, but I believe any version that you use will be fine, at least 5 or above. maybe if you are using some Unreal 4 version, you can have some difference and some problems, but yeah, I believe you'll be fine. So here I'm gonna create a new level. I'm gonna use the basic just because we already have some light set up, and I don't wanna worry about that right now. I'm gonna delete this one, and then I'm gonna change here to landscape. And here is where we can use our Gaea Heightmap. If I go here and import from file, the Unreal Engine is going to ask me for a Heightmap file. And you can generate this Heightmap file in the Gaea. So if I go here in our erosion node and right click, you're gonna find mark for export, or you can hit F3 as well. And if you go in the build tab, you can see that you have all the files that are going to be built. Right now I just have the erosion because it's the only one that I marked for export. And then I need to change from TIFF to PNG. And I'm using the community version, which is a free version of Gaea. And because of that, we have some limitations, and the limitation is the resolution. So I need to change here from 2048 to Unreal down here, and I need to change to 1009. It's the limit of resolution for the free version, but this resolution will be fine. You can generate really good landscapes even with this resolution. Okay, here it's fine. And let me see if we have more options to change. The range is proportional. I'm gonna change that from raw because I want to control the scale of this landscape directly inside of Unreal. I'm doing that because right now, by default, the Gaea has a 5 kilometers to 5 kilometers terrain, but it's just a number. I can create a Heightmap the size that I want inside of Unreal. If I want to create a 50 kilometers terrain, I can do that. I just need to scale the terrain, and also I can do the opposite. I can create like 100 meters terrain with this landscape, no problem. So I want to have this control inside of Unreal. That's why I'm changing to raw. And here in the build destination, we just need to choose a folder to save our build. Then I'm gonna hit save, and in a few seconds they are gonna generate our Heightmap. Nice. Gaea already export our Heightmap, so we can go back to Unreal and import from file over here in the landscape and choose the Heightmap. So I need to go where I save my Heightmap, and here we have a few erosion types, and we're gonna use this one. This one will be our Heightmap, but we definitely can use the erosion deposit and the flow and the wear to create more complex materials. But the erosion, it's the map that we are looking for right now. So we're gonna click over here. As you can see, they recognize the resolution that we put in the Gaea. So we always need to look for this one, because otherwise we're gonna have problems. And in the scale, it's 100 to 100 to 100. That means that we're gonna generate a terrain for 1 kilometers to 1 kilometers. And if I wanna change to make a terrain a little bit bigger or smaller, I just need to change this scale, and the height will be proportional. So if I increase the scale, so we're gonna increase the Z scale as well. So you also can generate a Heightmap which is higher than the proportion inside of Gaea if you want. We just need to change the Z scale. So it's up to you, do wherever you want with the scale inside of Gaea. So doing that, I'm gonna hit import, and we already have our landscape imported inside of Unreal. Really easy, right? So I'm gonna go back to selection mode. I'm gonna click in our landscape to bring it up a little bit higher, to be more close to 0. I believe in this way it's fine. And we already have our Heightmap. imported inside of Unreal. That's a good step in the right direction. And now we need to start creating our materials. So we're going to create a folder over here, material, create a new material, let's keep material. Also, we're gonna need a few textures, so I need to search for a few textures inside of a pixel bridge. I need to search for some grass. I'm going to speed up the video, guys, because you don't have to see me choose textures. Choose the texture that makes sense to you. So I'm gonna create a blend of grass, rock, and snow in this landscape. Although I need to save my level first. I'm gonna go landscape, then I'm gonna hit save. Nice. Now let's go to our landscape material. I need to search for the texture that I just downloaded. Go to mag scans, surface. I'm going to start with the grass. I'm going to drag and drop. And the first thing that we need to do to not needing too much refactor, as you can see, by default, the material output inside of Unreal, you can output just one material. And because you are using this node, we're going to use this node over here, which is the landscape layer blend. The landscape layer blend, you're gonna generate different materials. So I cannot use this landscape material over here because we need to use more materials and we need to interact with the landscape layer blend. So to do that, I need to change a few settings in this material at first. So the first thing that I need to do is click in the landscape material here and use material attributes. So we're gonna see just one node. And I need to use another node called set material attributes. So as you can see, you're gonna use the set material attributes. So we're gonna choose the elements that I want to use. And then we're gonna create a list of materials in the landscape layer blend. And then we're gonna use the landscape layer blend directing our landscape material. So that's the way you can use several different materials in the same material. And okay, so the first thing, I'm gonna kind of start backwards. So in the landscape layer blend, you have the layers over here, and I'm gonna create 3 layers. So I'm creating 3 layers because we are using 3 different materials. Because we're gonna use the grass, right? And then I'm gonna use the grass. I'm gonna use the rock. And then you're gonna use the snow as well. So nice. Now you have the three materials that we're going to use. And then we need to have 3 different set materials attributes, each one for each material. But we're going to start, the first one will be our grass. So because once you do one, it's much easier to do the other 2. So in the layer glass, if you set material attributes, the material attributes will also have an array, but the array is not to create different materials, but to create different properties of each material. So if I go here and create an element, you're gonna see that you have different properties of the material. So we're gonna use our base color. So we already have here our base color. We don't use metallic in landscape materials, it won't make any sense, but you're gonna use the normals. It's a really important part. I'm gonna use the normals. We're gonna use the specular because it would be nice to decrease that plastic fill that we have. And also we're gonna use the roughness. So the roughness, it's the alpha channel of the base color, or you can use the green channel of the origin map. So depending from where you are getting your textures, we're gonna have a different channel for roughness, but for me, I can use the alpha channel or the green channel of the ORD map because I'm downloading these textures from the Pixel Bridge. So we need to see from where you download your textures. And okay, so we have roughly the first setup of the first material. We're gonna hit apply. And I'm gonna go here in our landscape. Let me search for the landscape. I'm gonna change really quick here the layout for the U4 because you can see more things at once. And I'm gonna go back in the landscape. In the landscape, if I scroll down in the details panel over here, we have the landscape material. And the landscape material is the material that we just created. So I'm gonna drag and drop and apply this material to our landscape. So right now everything is dark because you need to do some configuration, and we're gonna do that right now. So if I change to landscape mode and go to paint, we have a few options over here, but if you scroll down, we have our three materials. So we have the rock, the snow, and the grass. So far we just have some configuration in the grass, so I need to go here and create our layer info. They're gonna ask you to generate a folder inside of your project, landscape shared assets. I'm gonna hit save. And once I do that, we already applied our grass in our landscape. I'm gonna change the specular a little. We don't need to, we cannot use a 0 as a specular, it won't be physically accurate, but definitely we can decrease a little bit because now you don't have that plastic feel anymore. Of course, you can do much more things with these materials, but I'm gonna focus doesn't make this video too long just in using the blend materials. And also I'm creating a course in Udemy about that, where I'm gonna go in much more details about how this workflow works. Yes, we create our grass and then we need to do the exactly same thing for the rock and the snow. So I'm gonna go here. Actually, I can go and duplicate these set material attributes because you're gonna use exactly the same materials properties. And now I need to search for the other textures. I'm gonna go the rock, drag and drop our rock. So we're gonna have the base color over here, the normal, and also our roughness. I believe I'm gonna keep the specular at the same value as the grass, and you always can tweak this value later to a value that makes sense to you. I just don't like that plastic look that we have when you have a high specular. And okay, we did that with the rock, so we need to go here and use layer rock, and we need to do one more time the exactly same thing with the snow. So we're gonna go here and search for the snow. Where's the snow? It's here. Light, base color, normal, and roughness. I believe the specular won't be a problem, the snow. And then I need to go here, connect the snow. And now you have our basic setup of our materials. And as you can see, we already updated the layers in the landscape mode. So you have our rock and our snow. And now how can you use the masks that you can generate in Gaea to apply the rock and the snow automatically? So let's go back to our Gaea file. And now we need to generate a few maps. And we're gonna use the erosion map as a starting point. And there's a node called snowfall. And when you use your snowfall, as you can see, everything turn with snow. but you have a bunch of properties here, so I can decrease the snow a little bit if I want. I can decrease the intensity. So I have a bunch of parameters, but I believe the parameter that I use the most is the snow line, because you can clamp where the snow goes based on the height of your landscape. That's really handy. I'm gonna increase the intensity to have more snow. I think it would be nice. Also the duration. And you can go here and mark for export, so you can use this map. And also there is a node called slope. And this node generates a slope mask. Here you can choose which angle you want your slope to be. So I'm gonna go max, like 90 degrees would be the max, and the min slope would be, I don't know, maybe, yeah, I think here makes sense. And I'm gonna decrease the fall off, because I want a really marked way where the rocks begins. Otherwise the rock will be blending with the other materials, and that can have not realistic results. So here we have this slope, and I'm gonna mark here for export as well. I don't need to export the erosion anymore, so we're gonna go and don't have in the build. And then we're gonna go to build, and I need to change to PNG. All the setup is okay, and then I'm gonna start building. So I generate the map, so I'm gonna go back to Unreal. And here in Unreal, you need to first create the layer info. Nice, I created the layer info. Then we can go back here to manage and search for our layers. And as you can see, because you create our layer info, have layer info for all the materials. But I want to use, right now I'm gonna use the rock, and here is asking me for a file. So if I click here, I can go in our Gaea exports and search for our slope mask and hit import. And now Unreal Engine is using our mask on the slope mask inside of Gaea to apply our rock in our landscape. And you can do exactly the same thing with the snowfall and hit import as well. Now we're gonna have the snow together with our rock and our grass. And in this way you can go even further, create more and more layers and place those layers inside of Unreal. And you can generate a landscape really fast. Of course, here I cannot look for this rock, it's like hideous right now. We need to use some triplanar projection or maybe some texture variation or anything like that to break up the tiling. We need to tweak the normals and so on. But yeah, we can do that and tweak all your materials. And in this way you can generate really fast landscapes inside of Unreal. I hope this video is useful to you guys, and that's it for today, and thank you for watching. See you in the next video.